Hey everyone, episode 3 here of the Nerdy Cool Dad podcast. I think it's Thursday, March the 19th today. I had to double check that because I wasn't sure this morning as everything's kind of blurring together here. Um, so it just kind of dawned on me. Actually, my wife was talking to me yesterday about the last few episodes, how maybe I had too much of a negative tone to things. Which, we have enough of that in our lives right now. So I'm going to go in a different direction, and I'm going to start out every day with some good news. Whether it's politics, people having fun or whatever. We'll figure out what that looks like on a day-to-day basis. But I want to start off with entertainment. Obviously, something that's super vital to us right now to keep our sanity. There's tons of TV shows, movies, streaming networks, and all sorts of things that you guys can take advantage of right now. The cool thing is pretty much all the internet service providers have offered unlimited bandwidth. So anyone that was worried about, going over their cap or anything like that, not to worry, because they're letting you do whatever you want, which is really a nice gesture. So I'm happy that that's the case. I'm actually curious, maybe anyone that's viewing this from more of a rural setting, if satellite internet or 4G, anything like that, excuse me, is offering a similar service. So that'd be really cool to know. But outside of that, um, I've decided, well, one thing that I've talked about with my wife a bunch of times is how many classic movies that we've never seen. From Casablanca to Shawshank Redemption to Schindler's List. I mean, the list goes on. There's tons of content out there that I've always wanted to watch, and so I'm actually going to make a note of it to watch these movies. I've got a bunch queued up, ready to go, and maybe once every couple days or so, at least a couple a week, while we're hunkered down here. I'm going to I'm going to check out some of these classic films. So yeah, I'll let you guys know my retro reviews afterwards, because typically when you talk to people about these things, like, what do you mean you haven't seen that movie? So yeah, I'm gonna try it out. And for any of you that are, I guess, somewhat tech savvy and want to share media with each other, not a bad idea. You're not going to get everything that you want on Netflix or Disney Plus or Hulu or whatever the hell you're streaming off of. So a good opportunity is to use something that I use called Plex. That's Plex. I use this as a media server, and I could actually share this with people, friends and family. You can check out my content. You can watch some movies or TV shows or things I have loaded into my server, and have a go at it. So PM me if you're interested. If you want more information, let me know. I'll give you the gist of what you need to do to get that set up. And I use it a lot just to kind of track what I'm watching. It's all well and good to watch your files just by clicking on them on your computer, offline or anything like that. But I like to have that proper media setting that I'm used to with streaming services like Netflix and Disney Plus and so on. Got some other shows. Hopefully, I'm going to get into. I've heard the brothers or the boys. I think it's the boys. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyways, it's on Prime. I'm gonna check that out. That's probably the next show I get into. I know there's a couple other things people are trying to get me into, but one thing at a time. I actually, last night was pretty funny. My wife and I just kind of wanted something easy to get into, nothing too serious. So we actually watched Step Brothers. I've seen it a bunch of times, but it's been a good amount of time since I've seen it last, and my wife had only seen bits and pieces. So it was a good film to watch. Classic comedies are always good. Some of them date themselves, of course, but I thought this one was pretty good. It kind of reminded me of watching like old Simpsons episodes, where there's a lot of catchphrases, things like that I've used for years in my daily life, really. And I didn't realize how many until you watch a classic like that, and puts it all in perspective. So yeah, I definitely suggest doing that. more positive news in the world right now. Kind of a silver lining case here, given the fact that humans have been isolating themselves. Looks like, and unfortunately, production things like that with the economy worldwide are down, but pollution levels are down. I don't know how drastically, but it seems like it's a pretty big deal. Not an expert on this by any means, but if you are and you want to post some stuff on the comments, definitely feel free. Because again, I'm just a guy here talking about stuff. I'm not a professional by any means. But yeah, I mean, everyone's seeing those stories about Italy right now. They got dolphins swimming in their canals. The canals are running almost clear. Now the whole swan thing apparently is just not a big deal. They come back every spring apparently, and a lot of the tourists feed them, so that's kind of what they're used to. But I did see a picture of a wild boar in the streets just kind of hanging out. So it's like we're hitting the reset button on nature right now, and it will really put things into perspective once we come out of this. To see what our efforts look like and what could be if we put a lot more effort into things. So excited about that. I got a bit of politics I want to discuss. I don't want to make this show all about politics, but it's kind of hard not to, especially if I'm retroactively looking at these episodes down the line and just kind of getting a taste of what life was like during these times. Uh, oh God, I couldn't help but laugh instantly when the Trump administration came out to do their press conference yesterday, and you know, not a surprise, but Donald Trump referred to the COVID-19 virus as the Chinese virus. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get it too far into that. I think we can all kind of see where he's trying to get into, pointing the finger at basically anything, anyone, saying that his administration is doing things far better than anyone else has or could have, and whatever. If you're going to listen to that garbage and believe it, then, up to you. But I don't believe a word he says. Canadian politics. So we officially closed the border yesterday outside of essential travel and trade. Great idea. It probably should have been done earlier, but I also, as I mentioned in previous videos, you can't just do everything at once. You'll cause pandemonium, and it was probably the right thing to do at this time. Unfortunately, I mean, I got some friends kind of trapped in different places of the world right now. Not easy to get home. Most flights are being canceled, so wish the best for them. Hopefully, they get back to Canada safely and in not too long a time. Also, the Canadian government discussed their plans to help Canadians financially and how to stimulate the economy while we can right now. So there's a lot to that. I'm not going to cover it because it's far too in depth. But if you're looking into what this might look like, I'll post something in the comments and you can take a look at that. And yeah, we'll go from there. Don't want to keep this episode too long today, but I do want to talk about the approaching weekend. Like everyone cares, I care actually because I mean I'm still working my job throughout the week, so looking forward to the weekend coming, just kind of fully relax and not have to worry about too many things. Given the fact that you can't really go out and do anything, I'm deciding to do some cool indoor activities. So one thing my wife and I like to do is do sort of dinner dates indoors. That sounds kind of weird. I'm not a huge fan of going to a lot of restaurants. I get kind of how do I say buyer's envy. I think that's the term. Yeah. Anyways, no, that's not the buyer's remorse. What the hell am I talking about? Anyways, yeah, I get buyer's remorse a lot when I go to restaurants because I'm a pretty good cook, and most things I can do better myself at a fraction of the cost. So, years ago we started doing this sort of thing where we'd have date nights, and we cook a fancy meal and have candles and that sort of thing. So we're gonna give that another go this weekend. I think we both need it. I haven't discussed this with her, but I'm sure she'll be down. And definitely looking forward to that. And even I might even put on some half decent clothes. I mean, I've been wearing track pants most of this week. I actually put on jeans right now, so yeah, things are looking up. Motivation is there. Outside of that, this weekend, probably play more video games and take it easy. One thing I am looking forward to doing actually is setting up my herb garden. Um, I made an attempt at getting the supplies I needed the other day. I just went to the dollar store. I didn't try really hard, to be honest. I'm gonna check out a nursery this weekend and get everything I need to get that started. I've got some fresh basil growing right now, but I bought the plant, so it wasn't really a big deal. I would love to have some rosemary and other herbs, because cooking with fresh herbs is a huge deal. Like just the flavor is so much better. So I would prefer to have that. Get it started for the summer. Might grow some other stuff, but I don't really talk about that. And that's pretty much how it's shaken up right now. I do want to do a shout out just to anyone working on the sort of the front lines right now. Anyone working at grocery stores, nurses, even people that are transporting goods, doctors, and anyone who's dealing with this on a daily basis. Soon is going to be more public officials, I would imagine, as regulations get tighter. I expect the Canadian government to do a full lockdown in the near future. I don't know when that's going to be, but we should definitely prepare ourselves for something like that. Not that I'm trying to spout fear or anything like that, but I think it's a natural progression based on how numbers are right now. I think yesterday at like 6:30 p.m. there was about 700 and change cases of COVID-19 in Canada. I expect that to increase more and more. I think we started the week at like 300 or 350, somewhere around that range. So we're well on our way to doubling it. And we were notified that this would be an exponential growth, so it's not to be surprising. I don't know where the U.S. is right now, but I'm going to look into that as well while I get the chance today. And yeah, hopefully we're all just kind of keeping our sanity. If anyone's got any cool tips, things to do with the kids, anything like that, definitely feel free to share it. Just want to kind of create a community vibe here. This weekend, I'm definitely, as I mentioned, I'm gonna start doing bread. Never made bread before, but I'm gonna film it. So I'll have a video on me doing some trials and things like that. I'm gonna keep it super basic right off the bat, but take a look at those videos as they come out, and if I can think of any other cooking videos, which I definitely will. I'm gonna give them a go, and I've always wanted to share some of my recipes, things like that. So we'll see how that goes, and yeah, stay tuned. All right, everyone, have a good day, and yeah, keep your sanity.